We believe that fresh food access is a human right. And that was first inspired to me when I took a class at Michigan my junior year about environmental politics and started thinking about for the first time, poverty, fresh food access, all of these different things that we know are problems in society and how they manifest because of race, because of class. And it shouldn't have taken me that long, but here we are. And so I ended up working on a farm after I graduated in Chelsea and started thinking for the first time seriously about urban farming and community gardening. And we're by no means, the ones to invent this. This is all over the state, all over the country. Actually, it's happened all over the world. And even here in Jackson, there are community gardens with Together We Can Make a Difference and YPOP, people who have been doing this way longer than I've even been around. So we're not the first. We hopefully will not be the last. We want to be a catalyst for that community garden success. We want to be people who are pushing the conversation about fresh food access, asking questions like, why is it there's only 2 grocery stores in the city? Why is it that, in most places when you're standing in the city of Jackson, you're closer to 2, 3, 4 party stores than you are to a place where you can access fresh food, right? And we don't even believe that it should just be free for everyone, but just the opportunity to access it is there. And so, as a board of directors, we try to work very hard to work on those issues of access. And this community garden is one way that's integral to that.
We started from a lawn, and then all of a sudden we were tearing out the lawn and people are like, what's going on? It just is a patch of dirt, what's going on? So it's been awesome lately, especially while we're putting plants in the ground. Awesome to see people be like, oh my gosh, you're putting a garden in. Like, thank you. Wow, this is so exciting. Everybody loves gardening. I think that's want food and plants. I think that's one thing that most people can agree on that we love, even in this really divided world that we live in right now. So
people want a grocery store down here, and we're not there yet, of course, but we hope that the farm stand that we're going to implement later this summer is kind of that bridge to begin that conversation of, there used to be a grocery store very close to the south side, but it's just the access problem. We know many people living in poverty, one of their biggest barriers to entry to moving out of that, whether it be, having a job that's good or being able to get their kids to school or go to the doctor or whatever, all these things that make up, a productive lifestyle is relying on transportation. And we know these transportation issues also impact fresh food access. And so we're hoping that with a farm stand at the King Center and fresh food being here at St. Mary's, that we can lower that need for that transportation, right? Just as a bridge to start the conversation and also to provide fresh food right in many people's neighborhood. So we know that people are excited about that. We know some people have some questions like, hey, what's going on? This is the King Center. What's this all about? And so we hope to just keep that conversation going about, we believe in fresh food. We believe in community wellness through fresh food. And people really have been generally super receptive to some of that messaging.
I think that gardens like this generally across the board, that's their primary function, is to bring communities together. You see people walking their dogs will stop and talk to us and want to learn about what we're doing. And now we've got these great signs up, so hopefully people can still engage and learn about that even when we're not here. And same with the King Center, obviously it's a recreational place, so kids are there playing basketball all the time, and basketball rolls into the garden and that leads to a conversation. So I think gardens really do bring people together, whether it's through volunteering or through youth programming, or through, we're hoping to employ more community members eventually as we build capacity. And then again, making those connections with other organizations, like working with the city and working with the King Center and other nonprofits that are doing similar work. So it's the tide that lifts all boats, gardens are, I think.
We have problems globally, right? You can point anywhere in the world and you've got issues, but every county in the United States has food insecurity, right? And that's just, not just, don't want to be a reductionist about it, that is the understanding that there's a percentage of your population that in any 12-month span is not sure how they're going to afford all of their basic food needs. I believe in community solutions. I believe in organic community problem solving from people who are there. I'm from here, my family's from here, we love it here, my family's still here, and we believe in the culture of trying to give back and do what we can to improve the lives of people around us and improve our own lives, right? Gardening, selfishly, garden's for me. Like, it's wonderful, it's therapeutic, it's incredible. We love getting a lot of people involved in it, and I love to see my neighbors and friends and family have the opportunity to do that.
I hope that we bring communities together to bond over things like fresh food and cooking. Everybody loves good food, and people love cooking together is something that I have always done with my friends and family. And so if you can get especially kids excited about Oh, I got to get these collard greens from the garden today, or I got to pick this ripe tomato and taste a fresh, off the vine ripe tomato for the first time. That I think can make people realize how much more connected you are to your food through that, and then that also helps you build connections to other people in your household too, and you can bond over something like that.
I would love to see, in every county, but in Jackson, a day where we have no food insecurity. And that's lofty. And people say, well, that's unattainable. Sure, that might be. But if you don't set your sights high, you're never going to get there, right? You don't want to short sell yourself. So I want a community where everyone has access to healthcare, everyone has access to fresh food, robust schools, strong economy, people believing in themselves and their neighbors and in their neighborhood. And I think that gardens are an amazing way to do that. I think people come to gardens to learn about themselves, to learn about the earth, to be responsible for their own food system, and to come together.